another edition of the Contractor's Secret Weapon weekly podcast with your hosts, Dave Negri. This program is dedicated to helping contractors, remodelers, painters, roofers, roof cleaners, and business owners in the construction industry gain an unfair advantage over the competition. This program supplies you with information that the competition doesn't even know exists. This session brought to you by ContractorsSecretWeapon.com.
Before we get into the conversation with you, I just want to do a shout out to our sponsors who help promote Contractor's Secret Weapon and just some of the things that they have in store for you, our listeners. Hey, is your phone ringing enough? Do you want it to ring more with highly motivated and qualified buyers that contact you, the contractor, directly? No more waiting for the phone to ring. Just answer that phone. Best Home Services leads are dedicated to making your phone ring with motivated buyers that call you directly. There's no obligation to talk with them. Just go to ContractorSecretWeapon.com/money. Fill out the form to secure your discount on the setup fee. Do it today. This special will not last forever. Check them out at ContractorSecretWeapon.com/money.
Running a small business is no easy task, and I should know because I had a service company for almost 10 years. I am the founder of a software called Radius Bomb, and it's unbelievable. And for all the listeners of Contractor's Secret Weapon, we have a special offer for you to check out. If you want to send hyper-targeted, laser-focused, super personalized postcards to your exact prospects using a map while sitting in your underwear, then go to ContractorSecretWeapon.com/Radius Bomb, and we'll give you your first 100 postcards for free. Just go to ContractorSecretWeapon.com/Radius Bomb.
Hey, this is Dave Negri with Contractor's Secret Weapon. Thanks for stopping by today. Hey, as you know, I love to talk about business, and we talk about business all the time. I love about making money, saving money, and today I have a special guest. We're going to talk about not paying the government as much money as you do, and therefore making more of that hard-earned profit you get to keep. So today I have Craig Cody. Craig is a certified tax coach, certified public accountant, business owner, and former New York City police officer with 17 years experience on the force. In addition to being a certified public accountant for the past 15 years, he's also a certified tax coach. And as a certified tax coach, Craig belongs to a select group of tax practitioners throughout the country who undergo extensive training and continued education on various tax planning techniques and strategies to become, and as will remain in that group with this organization. So Craig has also authored an Amazon bestseller book, Secrets of a Tax-Free Life. Well, I was hooked on that, Secrets of a Tax-Free Life. So here we go. Hey, Craig, it is so good to have you today. I noticed, in your introduction that you were a certified public accountant and you were a police officer. How did those two mix together?
Oh, God. I was originally, when I went to first school, the first time around, I was an economics major. I guess I always liked numbers. And at some point in my career, I decided I need to have a little bit more control over my destiny. And I went back to school for accounting. I mean, I had a great run, and I met a lot of great people. But this has also been a great run and met a lot of different people. So it's been fun. It's fun. It's exciting. This is exciting.
Yeah, a lot safer behind the desk too, huh?
Those paper cuts, but somebody once said to me, it's a big difference. And I said, when I save somebody a lot of money in taxes, that's just as exciting and just as big of an adrenaline rush as, chasing somebody through the streets of, New York City when I was a youngster.
Yeah, it's a lot more rewarding too, because now you got a customer for life because they love you.
Exactly.
So today, we want to talk about tax planning because, of course, I love talking about money. I love talking about making money, and I love talking about saving money. I like talking about giving it away, too, but that's a whole different story. Because you're a certified tax coach and you're a CPA, you look at things a lot differently than most tax planners, don't you?
Yes. Tax planning to most CPAs and accountants is talking with you in late November, early December and saying you need to make this amount of a payment by January 15th. They're kind of just recording history. As a certified tax coach, it's all about helping clients keep more of what they make and being proactive instead of reactive.
So I guess in the best case scenario, what we're really looking at as far as what you become is you become a member of the team as opposed to just someone who is telling them what they did and how much they need to pay.
Exactly. You're providing more of an advisory role, and the proof is in the dollars in their pocket.
Yeah, the end result. I'm sure that, because I know that in most businesses, well, in every business, that there are actually, I know I work hard, and I know you work hard, and I know that every one of our listeners really works hard. They bust their butt every day. They go out and to do the things they need to do to make their business profitable. And but how much, a lot of times, they don't realize how much profit is being drained away by unnecessary payments to the IRS.
Yes. I mean, people spend a lot of time looking and researching for a car, but they don't research, or look to see how they can save money, on taxes. And taxes is probably the business owner's largest expense.
Yeah, I'll bet you. By the time you get through with it, especially when it comes down to, our personal and everything that gets thrown into it. What do you see with some of the biggest mistakes that most of us small business owners do regarding our taxes?
Well, biggest mistake is failing to plan. Okay, that's by far the number one thing. I would say after failing to plan, it's choosing the wrong business entity, which goes back to failing to plan, because it's typically they're starting a business, they'll talk to an attorney, and based on the laws in that state, they'll say, well, this is the best choice of entity for you from a liability perspective.
Right. Okay.
And they form that entity, whether it's an S corp, an LLC, a C corp, or whatever. And there's no communication between the attorney, the client, and the CPA to decide, okay, what's most efficient tax-wise and what works, best for liability protection, and how do we make the two of them meet up?
So you want to see everything work together.
Exactly. Communication.
Yeah. I know that I remember reading the guy's post once, and he goes, "It was, do I pay my wife? Should I pay my wife?" Or, and another one was, should I pay? Oh, how should I pay my wife rent for the garage? And I'm going, why don't you try asking your accountant that, or your CPA? Don't ask people that are in the same business you're in.
Exactly.
Because everyone's going to give you a different answer. The CPA is going to give you one that's going to save you money instead of, But I think that the biggest thing, and I'm sure that you see it too, is that the fear of the unknown. So I know that I'd rather do it myself because it's going to cost me money. Well, that's sometimes it leaves me speechless and makes me stutter like I am right now.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you feel the same way, because I feel, and I'm sure you do too, is that they're missing the opportunity to create more income or save taxes, however you want to put it, by having the right person do their tax strategy and their tax planning for them. I should come to work for you. I'm selling your services for you.
Well, I agree. I agree with you, and I use the saying. I said, people look at accounting, CPA services as an expense item. They should look at it as an income item, because if you have the right CPA accountant and you communicate with them and they communicate with you, they should be saving you money, not costing you money.
Right. And so that brings me back to a thought that while you said that, most people think of a CPA or an accountant as an expense because of that notice that they get of, hey, you need to pay this much tax on your quarter or whatever the case may be, instead of someone like you who actually sits down with them and plans how everything should work together, and not only just how much you're going to pay, but how much are you going to pay because we saved you here, here, and here, and we looked at different areas.
Exactly. And it's kind of like they don't want to call the accountant because they're worried he's going to send them a bill.
Well, I mean, yeah, but it's, there I am speechless again. Only because in the beginning I've been there, of course, I thought about that way, and then I started reading a lot and talking to a lot of people and listened to a lot of other business owners who were, saying, my CPA is one of my most highly regarded team members. And I'm going, well, if he's going to be a team member for you, then I need to find somebody. And believe me, I went through a bunch to find the one that really works for me. And I'm sure that everyone has to do the same thing. But you got to look.
Right.
You got to
exactly.
be active in processing who's going to work for you.
And you want to find someone that's going to communicate with you, because it's really all about the communication.
Right. Yeah. So, in essence, let's go back to using you or someone like yourself as to their advantage. How would you normally set them up so that they would? Let me just say that. How would you normally set up them so that they would know what to expect? I think that's probably the best way to put it.
So what we do when we work with a business owner, and basically we only work with business owners and real estate investors, is, once we do the analysis and we set up a tax plan for them, we typically are working with their books on a monthly basis. And every month we send out, at the end of the month, after we've gotten everything reconciled, we sent out like a calendar invite, and they get a couple of dates to choose from. And we set up like a 30-minute call. And it could be a 15-minute call. It could turn into 45 minutes. And it's just to communicate, go over what's going on. If we have any questions, we ask them. If they have any questions, they ask us. So we have that regular communication going. And you may miss a month. Client may have things going on. They don't feel they need to talk to you. But they know the lines are open and they can reach out to you at any time. So that's our system. Our system is, we use a team approach from our side, and we communicate with the clients. And, whomever you are, you need to be communicating with your CPA.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Well, it's like having a once a month team meeting.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that you know where you're going, or where you don't want to go. Because I'm sure that because you meet with them on a regular basis, you can steer them in the right direction and say, hey, I see you're going in this direction. We need to make some changes.
Right. Well, you haven't taken advantage of this strategy yet this year. You need to do this. Right. You have 2 months left, and it's going to save you $7,000.
Okay, I'm in.
Okay. It's kind of instant gratification.
Yeah, I would imagine, especially if everything is being done in the right process, in the right way. And
Correct.
Like you said, it's all about the communication. So, yeah. Every month, so it's like having a team meeting. Like I said, you need
Correct.
to meet with you or your team member once a month, so that you get the most. Everyone gets the most benefit about the relationship.
The more you know, the more you can do.
Yeah, it's like it's you don't want to get the bill and say, well, if you had talked to me earlier, we could have saved you $5,000. Now that would really torque my
right.
jaw.
Well, and that would be my bad. If that happened, that's my fault, because if you're a client of mine, I should be talking to you on a regular basis. And if I didn't, I failed.
Right, and that's the way you do business. And of course, not all CPAs are alike.
Right. Unfortunately, many are very good at what they do.
Right.
Okay. They put the right numbers in the right boxes, but they're reactive. They're recording history instead of helping you make history.
I like that. Help you make history. Yeah, I know they are reactive. So let's talk a little bit about some of the most expensive tax mistakes that most business owners make, and I'm sure that I'm sure the list is as long as your arm. But what are the top 10?
Well, we'll talk about some of them, like missing a home office. Okay, do you spend about 14 hours a week working out of your home?
Yeah.
I think most people do, whether it's emails, whatever it is you're doing.
Sure.
So you can have a home office. And while the home office deduction is not a huge deduction, okay, it opens up for other things like now you're commuting from one office to another becomes deductible. It allows for the home athletic facility, which could be your home gym or your pool, to be deductible. Ooh. So having that allows you to open up to taking deductions for other things.
Cool.
Yes, and the gym has to be for the use of your employees and their families. So if you happen to be the only employee, all right, or the only employee that works out of that office, probably none of your other employees are going to come over your house and use your pool.
Yeah, that's for sure. But I like that. Yeah,
yes,
I'm the only employee that works out of this office.
That's right.
That's pretty cool.
So that's a big one. Then we have auto and truck expenses. Are you doing that correctly? Medical benefits. Are you eligible for a medical expense reimbursement plan where you could write off the expenses that are typically not deductible because you'd have to have so much dollar amount to make them deductible? So maybe your kid's braces you'd like to write off, or maybe you need to go for cosmetic dentistry and it's going to set you back $20,000 or $25,000. How do we write that off correctly?
Really?
Yeah, really.
Come on, all my kids are grown up. I wish I had known that before.
So that's a very big one. Hiring your kids, doing it right, documenting what they're doing, taking that money and either paying for their schooling or using that money to pay for like different activities that they're part of, or just some people just take that money and turn it into a Roth IRA. So by the time the kid gets out of college, he's got a lot of money saved up already.
Can I do that with my grandkids?
Yes, if they're doing work for you,
okay.
As long as they're working for you
right.
and you're documenting. Tax court says they have to be 7 years old. I like to wait till they're about 11 years old.
Okay.
But you have to document everything. So that's family employment. Meals and entertainment. Are you taking clients out? Are you properly recording that and keeping track of that? Do you have a retirement plan? Are you using the right type of plan? Is your wife part of your retirement plan? Does it make sense to make her part of your retirement plan? So those are a lot of the things that people miss that cost them a lot of money.
Wow. And you would think, I would think that they would be ones that are right there, right in the forefront, but I guess they're not.
Well, they're really easy to do. They're not rocket science, but what happens is, people don't spend the time planning. And they go see their accountant in March or April, and by then it's too late.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah, and it was kind of funny because we were just looking at some insurance policies, and we were talking to our insurance agent about long-term care, which is now tax deductible from our business.
Yes.
And I go, that's pretty cool.
So, and what entity should you have that, how should you set up the entity to make that stuff deductible? There's a lot of different things that go into it to make sure it's done correctly.
Yeah. See, all that would give me a headache. That's why I have someone on my team, so I don't have to worry about that.
Exactly. Because you know what? Where do you make your most money?
Yeah, being with my customers, selling
right.
stuff, doing stuff, that stuff. Why would I? Because that's where I make my profit.
That's where you make your money, exactly. So that's where you should spend your time.
Absolutely.
It's kind of like the owner shouldn't be making copies,
I know, that's one of the biggest things that I think most of us go through is that we get so caught up in things that need to be done, we forget about what it would take to hire somebody to do that. So we're really lowering our income.
Exactly. I hired a personal assistant this year in February, and it was the best thing I've ever done.
Oh, it must have freed you up tremendously.
Oh, it freed me up. It freed my staff up. It's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, you're not stressed out as much, I'll bet.
Exactly.
Yeah, I remember listening to, I forget who his name was, but he had his business. It was driving him crazy. He was working so many hours a week, and he ended up hiring they're not temporaries, but he ended up he had to ended up hiring 8 people to replace him.
Uh,
I can't imagine the stress
that person must have been under.
that
Yes.
person must have gone through.
Yes.
Under that.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about your book.
Okay.
It's a cool book. I love the title, Secrets of a Tax-Free Life. That's like utopia.
Yes. That I co-authored. It was actually an Amazon bestseller a couple of years ago. I co-authored it with about 9 other certified tax coach members.
Cool.
And then last year, we came out with our latest, which is the 10 most expensive tax mistakes that cost business owners thousands. And I'm going to give your listeners an opportunity to get a free copy of that when we're done.
Okay, cool. Awesome. That is awesome. So that was a collaboration. So but I love the title. I mean,
Yes.
I'm sure that the write-off strategies, I'm going, dude, I says, that is utopia, secrets of a tax-free life. They're coming after me. But, it's kind of interesting because I know I've had this talk with various people, and they complain about business and business owners. And I go, why? Well, because you don't pay any taxes. And I go, well, I said, well, that's wrong to begin with, in a sense. I said, however, the tax code was written for business owners. It wasn't written for people who aren't business owners.
Right.
So it's for people who are willing to put skin into the game, not people who just want a job. So if you want to take and create a business, then the IRS will actually reward you for doing that.
Exactly. And look at the people that you're hiring people.
Yep.
You're responsible for payroll. There's a lot of stress that goes along with meeting payroll.
Yeah.
And I think that seems to be a uniform comment that I hear from most business owners. But the reward, there's a reward for that. And, you need to take advantage of those rewards.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, because that's why you didn't want to work for whoever, so that you could. And actually, I'm one of those unemployable guys, so I had to go into business.
I'm also unemployable now.
Yeah. Now, yeah. Forget. I mean, I've been unemployable. I think I've been in business for myself in various degrees since I was 18.
Wow.
Different businesses, and then I finally did get a job, and it was in sales, so I pretty much had my free reign of doing things. I could do things the way I wanted, not necessarily the way I was supposed to, because I got results, so they didn't complain. So, I've always been a little borderline troublemaker, but I got results, so that's all they really cared about, as long as I didn't cause too much trouble. So,
right, exactly.
This has been a lot of fun. Anything that you feel that we missed in our conversation?
No, I just want to hammer home the point that it really is important to communicate with your accountant.
Right.
The doctor doesn't call you up and say, "Are you sick today?" So you need to communicate with your accountant, and if you communicate with him, he better be communicating back with you.
And if he's not, then it's time to really look for someone that is going to do that with you. But I find this, and I'm sure you do too, is that, and I've had it happen in different businesses where we become comfortable with what we have, even if it's the wrong thing, because we don't want to go out on a limb, and because we're afraid we may get something worse. Yep.
That's I know from experience of talking to many business owners, it's very hard even when they're not happy with their accountant to move.
Right.
Because they're with a guy that he kind of knows everything.
Yeah.
He's seen it all. So.
But he's just not telling it all to me.
Exactly. But sometimes that's a tough move to make. A lot of times that's a tough move to make.
It is. It is.
And ultimately.
This has really been a lot of fun. How can our listeners get in touch with you?
Well, they can go to our website, which is www.craigcodyandcompany. And if they go to /secret weapon,
okay,
they can opt that in for a copy of our book, and we'll get that right out to them. We'll also give you a copy, a link for your show notes. They could also reach us via email at craig@ccodycpa.com. And the office number is 516-869-4051. And we're located in New York, but we have clients as far away as Oregon.
Yeah, that's cross. It does. I mean, with Skype and with everything that's going on, you don't have to travel. So why not?
Very efficient.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I am just really grateful that you spent time with us today. Talk about your favorite subject of helping people save money and create more income through tax strategy and tax savings. And one of my favorite topics of just I just hate paying the government more than I have to.
Yes, I think I agree with you there.
So, Craig, thanks so much for being with us today.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Again, I want to thank you for joining us and investing your time with us today. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode, and if you did, go to iTunes and give us a shout-out. You can also go to our website, www.contractorsecretweapon.com, and check out today's episode and leave us a comment in the bottom of the page. And if you haven't gotten your 15 secret weapon strategies to getting higher-end customers, get it while you're at the website. Also, I want to thank again our sponsors for keeping this podcast alive for your profit-making pleasure. And so go be profitable this week. Work smarter, not harder, and learn how to leverage your time and your knowledge so that you can be more profitable. Again, see you next week.
Thanks for joining us for another weekly episode of the Contractor's Secret Weapon podcast with Dave Negri. We would love to hear your comments about this episode, so visit us online at www.contractorsecretweapon.com and let us hear your thoughts. If you were listening via iTunes, please leave us a positive review. The more positive reviews we receive, the more other contractors will benefit from this show. Thank you, and see you next time here on the Contractor's Secret Weapon Podcast.